Okay, thank you. So you just finished The Awakening?
Uh-huh.
What did you think of The Awakening?
It's okay. I'm not a big reader, but it's okay so far. I was really disappointed in my character. I thought that I was going to have more of a role since I took her in for several days, but it turns out I didn't. So that was kind of upsetting because I was willing to argue.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you said that you're not a big reader. Can you tell me more about that, please?
I don't know, I've just never been a big reader since I was little. I didn't want to read. I prefer to go play games like on a computer or run around or ride a bike or something. I just never cared for reading.
So you never have liked reading. Do you remember like how you learned to read?
Yeah, like I remember like sitting down with teachers and then like my parents, of course, forcing me to sit down and read a book like for AR, for points, and my two older sisters are big readers, like Harry Potter, Twilight, like all those big novels. I just was like the black sheep of them. And just didn't care, and they used to read it to me, so it wasn't like I was never exposed to books.
Right. Did you like listening to the story?
Yeah, like I comprehend them everything fine, yeah.
Yeah, you just didn't like the reading
Yeah.
itself. All right. Do you consider yourself a good reader?
I have to focus, because if I don't focus, I start wandering my thoughts and I don't comprehend what I just read. Yeah.
So, so you really need to like be deliberate about focusing.
When it comes to reading, yeah.
Right.
Other stuff is fine.
You just really have to apply yourself. So would you say you're good or not?
I don't know, I'm average. Can I say I'm average?
Okay, yeah, totally. So what makes you an average reader?
Because like I know of books and I experience books. I mean, after assigned to class, I'll read them or like semi-read them. But I think I'm average. My vocabulary span isn't like bad. Like it's not like I can read a book and not have to go back to a dictionary. So I think I'm just an average reader.
So you're an average reader because you can read what's in class and you can understand it. So it sounds like a good reader. Why are you choosing average instead of good?
Because I don't read a lot. Like I won't do it out of my pleasure. So
Okay.
I don't consider myself good at reading.
All right. So you don't consider yourself a good reader because you think. How do you think a good reader would be?
Like you enjoy it, like you take pleasure out of it, like it's like a novel to you, like a movie, you're reading it and you're picturing it as a movie. For me, when I read it, I'm seeing words. That's how I think I'm an average reader.
Okay, so you're thinking of the visualization process that a good reader would have, and you don't experience that? Can you think of anyone who is a good reader?
Probably my older sister, Ashley, because she's always been her head in the book and everything, and she graduated from UW with a communications degree, so I think she's like very like intellectual and all that stuff with books.
Okay, what do you think makes her?
Because she enjoys it, like that's her hobby, that's what she wants to do, just read and read and read articles, because she works for Paramount and she reads like all these reviews and everything, so I think that's what makes her a good reader.
So when your sister Ashley is reading, do you think she ever comes across anything she doesn't know? No?
Just skimming through, yeah. She keeps going. She's focused. Keeps going and keep going until she doesn't have time in the day to continue reading. But yeah.
You don't think she ever encounters anything that she doesn't understand or doesn't know about?
Because I used to hear stories of her growing up, and if she didn't figure something out, she would sit there and think until she figured it out. Funny story with my mom, my older sister Amanda. She was like, "Hey mom, can I have a Pepsi?" But she was like PEPSI, so she wouldn't figure it out, and she just sat in the back seat and she was like, Pepsi to figure it out. So I mean, she's always been into words and learning things. Yeah.
Right. That's a cute story. Um, so when you're saying that she always figures it out, do you know how she figures it out?
I don't know. I don't know what's going through her head. She's stubborn. Like if she feels like she's dumb or not with it, like she gets mad. Like she has to know what's going on.
Okay. So if your sister was by someone who was struggling to read, how do you think she would help that struggling person?
She would sit down with them and be like, "What are you confused on?" And probably would tell them like, "Go back, reread this section. Like, what don't you understand?" And probably tell them to like, reference back further into the book. That's what she used to do with me when I was little. So yeah, or she would grab the book and test me, make sure I comprehend it.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So she'd first make clear what was confusing, and then encourage the person to reread and look elsewhere in the book for clues as to what the meaning might be. Okay. So when you are reading and come across something you don't know, what do you do?
I'll reread the chapter, or I'll look online like Cliff Notes or Spark Notes and read that section to get more clarification. I did it with what's the book before I went to Burke with? I forgot the book I read before Burke, but damn, what was it? Was it Catcher in the Rye? I forgot the book, but I wasn't getting something. I should go back and go read it, and then reread the section again to comprehend it better.
Okay, so just rereading and seeking more clarification. All right. So what do you think a good reader does when they read?
I'm not sure.
Is my question confusing?
No, I get it. It's just I don't know because I don't consider myself one. For a good reader, I mean, you have to be joyful about it, take passion in reading the book, enjoyment, you're comprehending, you're skimming, you're going through it without any like struggling or whatnot. That's what I consider a good reader is.
Okay, so sounds like you're defining a good reader as someone who is enthusiastic about reading. Okay. Is there anything else you want to say about reading?
No, I'm good.
Okay, thank you so much for speaking with me. I
You're
appreciate it.
welcome.